Well, welcome back to Student Pages Magazine. I'm your host, Christian, and today we're joined by Canadian pop newcomer, Olivia Lunny. Thank you for
Thank you so
joining me
much for
today.
having me.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining me today. To kick off, can you give us a little background to why you got into the music industry?
And yeah, good question. I mean, for me, I've always been like a really big fan of music. And growing up, my parents were super into music. They would always take me to concerts and stuff. And when I was about 12 years old, my dad taught me guitar and I started writing music. And then it kind of just naturally, as I got older, turned into a big passion of mine and then a hobby of mine. And then kind of naturally, as I started gigging and playing shows, it became a career. So it's been, I'd say like 10, 12 years in the making of it kind of becoming something that's full time, but I'm really grateful I get to do what I love.
So, how was your new release?
My album definitely has a lot of different kind of flavors going on. So Maryland's definitely like the most pop out of all of them. And yeah, I'm really excited for people to hear it in a week.
What was the inspiration behind the music? Because personally, I'm thinking right now, Marilyn just resonates. It just brings the name Marilyn Monroe to my head. So
Of
what's your
course.
inspiration behind it?
She definitely obviously played a big part in the song. And I think when we
Oh.
were writing it, we were just trying to think of like iconic females. Like there's a Fleetwood Mac song called Rhiannon, and it's just this like iconic anthem. So we kind of referenced that, and Marilyn came to mind because, living in LA, obviously, like she's just kind of everywhere. She's just like a legacy woman. And we, yeah, just kind of sat down to write this like super empowering upbeat song, and then her name came up, and then we kind of just wrote it into a song. It was like really natural.
Wow, deep. That's yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think makes it stand out though?
I think the use of obviously like her name, but I think it's like the organic production mixed with the really poppy lyrics because it makes it modern, but it's also like an ode to the past a little bit. It kind of like collides the worlds, which I feel like in my album I've been trying to do a lot is have like that acoustic roots kind of me vibe and then mix it with some like eclectic modern day production. Yeah, so I definitely feel like yeah, my dad was like a huge inspiration for me because he just exposed me to so many different genres and bands and music. And then just growing up, I'd say beyond people, it was just that music itself really inspired me because I've always looked to music, when you're like feeling a certain way, always like matching that song with how you're feeling is a really interesting thing, whether you're like going through heartbreak or you're really excited to
Yeah.
celebrate something. My favorite thing to do is like find that soundtrack that accompanies that feeling. And that's also kind of my goal and my hope as an artist is that I can make those songs that help become anthems for others while they're just experiencing life. Definitely face adversity sometimes or face people, you know, passive aggressively kind of like being like, oh, like, what's your plan B? Like, you're really going to try to do that? And I think, if anything, I've just let that fuel me and let that kind of light the way and inspire me to just prove those people wrong, if anything.
Have you ever suffered from any depression or anxiety that if you feel comfortable
Yeah.
talking about it though?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm definitely like an anxious person sometimes. And I think too, dealing with music specifically, there's always in this career path, I mean, in life in general, there's always so much uncertainty and not knowing like what your next show is or what your next gig is or what's going to happen or if you'll ever make it. But I think I've really like reframed my mind to say that uncertainty is opportunity. And if you're not sure what's going to happen, let's say a month from now, a year from now, that's also a beautiful thing because think of how many amazing things could happen a month from now, a year from now. And it's just like a mindset switch that I really had to work on. But like anything, it's like, yeah, you have to work on it and it doesn't come naturally. But that's been like a really helpful tool and like mantra for me.
So you just like know that, oh yeah, have that mindset that, oh, the things, yeah, things might not but just go with it anyway. Just
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
Like
cool.
social media, I've definitely utilized it as a tool to help my career. I think I've also, though, realized that it's like balancing it. Obviously, if you only build your career on social, but then you don't, you know, dive into trying to build a fan base like in real life and in person, sometimes it always doesn't add up. So I've really tried to, if anything, do the old-fashioned route, tour lots, meet every single fan one by one, build fans in different countries, and then use social media to amplify that. And social media is an amazing tool to reach so many people. Because if you think of it, let's say you're touring, you played 1,000 people. Obviously, that's incredible, but you can have a video go viral and reach 1 million people, right? So it's just like a really incredible tool to reach new audiences. But I'd say it's like equally as important IRL in real life to also, yeah, build fan bases and engage in that way
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, a good balance between new and old. I'm sorry, new and
Totally, exactly. Yeah, no,
traditional.
exactly, exactly. Obviously, I have a vision like sonically and in my music and finding people who are an extension of that and who are able to kind of take my vision because obviously I'm not really into production and stuff like that. I'm more like old-fashioned guitar, vocals, voice note. So yeah, over the years I've just had so many sessions and even for this album I think I had like 55 sessions and wrote 55 songs. And through that process I definitely found like my people and the people who are able to help me translate what I want and like what's in my head into a song, into the production. I'm very into wellness and especially with touring and the chaos of this life that's so amazing. It can also just be overwhelming sometimes. So I definitely just like stillness. I like mindfulness. I meditate. I like to bake. I like fitness a lot. I like to work out. I love Pilates, breath work. Yeah, I think it's so important sometimes. It's an interesting like phenomenon when your hobby becomes your career because
Mm.
I used to always just like walk past my guitar and pick it up and play it. But now if I've been in the studio 10 hours, I don't necessarily know if I'm going home to pick up the guitar. Sometimes I do, but yeah, it's like finding that fine line between still obviously trying to have music as a hobby sometimes and writing songs, even if no one hears it, just for me because I love it. But then also
Oh,
doing stuff totally unrelated and just still like building a life beyond music. So your whole life isn't just like eat, sleep, breathe music, which I kind of feel like I'm at that point now, but you have to. I mean, when you're like an up and coming artist, you gotta grind it out. But I love it. So it feels like work, but at the same time, even like interviews like this, like it's so nice and I appreciate you guys giving me a platform to spread my word and to spread my music.
that's good. It's good we're part of that. Hey, what advice would you give students who want to get into music then?
That's a big question. I would say be be prepared for like a long journey. I kind of think honestly this advice goes more than just for music. But if I was being specific to just music, I'd say write as many songs as you can, play as many gigs as you can, do anything and everything just to like get your name out there. But at the same time, in life, I would just say have a really strong vision and then things are going to get really amazing and then things are also going to get really hard and if you want it badly enough and just keep showing up every single day and you're consistent then good things will happen but yeah music it's a beautiful thing if you can turn that into a career but it's not for the faint of heart. Just finding my artist identity, I have a really strong sense of that but I think as you said it just takes a long time to find the right producers and people to help my music sound like how I want it to sound. So it's definitely take, I'd say, like 5 years to really hone in and refine like what is the Olivia Lunny sound, what makes an Olivia Lunny song. But through those like years and years of trial and error, I think I've finally in this new album really found that like authentic sound. So I would say, yeah, just like sonically finding my artist identity in production has been a challenge, but also it's been worth like all the hardship because now I've found it, I think, and it's really special and I just like appreciate it that much more.
Cool. And what are you working on right now?
So I just finished my album and the album will be coming out early June, which I'm really excited about. And then I'm gonna be coming to the UK and Europe this summer to play some festivals. So I've definitely been in rehearsals. I've been working on my live set. I've been making some merch and yeah, I've been up to a lot. So I'm just really excited to now that I've written this project, share it, play it live, and see where it takes me. Awesome.
Hey.
Have a good one. Bye.